Here we have a pre-calculus problem on limits. Okay, let's go over the information. Limit extends to negative 8 f of x equals to 5. Limit extends to negative 8 g of x equals to negative 1. And we have to evaluate the limit, that is limit extends to negative 8, negative 3 times f of x, negative 2 times g of x over 10 positive g of x. So we have to evaluate the limit that I have done over here. So okay, here the limit what we have over here is applicable for the complete stuff over here. So whenever we have a common limit for a fraction, the limit can be taken separately for the stuff in numerator and the stuff in denominator. So now I'm going to take this given limit for the numerator and denominator separately. That is limit extends to negative 8. So let me write the stuff in numerator. That is negative 3 times f of x, negative 2 times g of x. Let me finish writing. And now I'm taking the same limit, that is limit extends to negative 8 for the stuff in denominator, that is 10 positive g of x. Okay, so here now in numerator what I can do is I can distribute this limit to this term and this term. The same thing, the limit has to be distributed to this one and this one. Okay, let me do it. That is limit extends to negative 8, negative 3 times f of x. Okay, positive limit extends to negative 8, negative 2 times g of x. Okay, I have distributed the limit to this term and this term. The same thing, I have to do it in denominator. So now I'm going to distribute this limit to 10 first. Then I'm getting limit extends to negative 8, 10 positive limit extends to negative 8 g of x. Okay, here, so we have limit extends to negative 8 f of x equals to 5. But here f of x is multiplied by a constant. So when I take limit for a particular function and if the function is multiplied by a constant, so the constant can be moved out of the limit. That is the negative 3 can be taken out of the limit and this negative 3 has to be multiplied by the result of the limit. Okay, now let me do it in the next step. That is negative 3 times limit extends to negative 8 f of x. Okay, now the same thing over here. So g of x is multiplied by the constant negative 2. So this negative 2 can be moved out of the limit. When it is moved out of the limit, already there is a positive sign over here. So when I multiply this positive and negative, it will become negative 2 times limit extends to negative 8 g of x over. Okay, here, so if there is f of x or g of x over here, I can evaluate this limit because we have limit negative extends to negative 8, f of x equals to 5, limit extends to negative 8, g of x equals to negative 1. But here it's a constant. So the evaluation of this limit is the same constant, that is 10 positive limit extends to negative 8 g of x. Okay, now we can plug in the values over here, limit negative 3. So for this one, limit extends to negative 8, f of x equals to 5. So I can plug in 5 for this one. Positive, sorry, negative 2 times. So for this one, we know the value, it's negative 1. So we can plug in negative 1 for this one over 10 positive. And the evaluation of this one is, I mean, the value of this limit is given in the question itself. That is negative 1. Okay, let me finish. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And negative times negative will become positive. 2 times 1 is 2 over 10. Positive times negative will become negative 1. So when I combine this negative 15 positive, I'm getting negative 13 over 10 negative 1 is 9. So the evaluation of the limit given over here is negative 13 over 9.